And welcome in for an episode of Poor Decisions. I'm Kate,
And I'm your co-host, Nate.
and here we are about to make some very poor decisions.
You got that right. So today, I think we will be talking about some of the, creepier, the haunted movie sets. I think is what we're discussing. Am I right?
Yeah, haunted movie history facts, basically.
Haunted movie mystery facts. There you go. That's the title right there.
Pretty much, pretty
Roll
much.
credits. All right. So, I have one right off the top of my head, and
Well,
it's a fun one.
yeah, well, I mean, I feel like a lot of people already know about the fact that Poltergeist from the 80s, I think it
Yeah. The
was
original.
yeah, it was a haunted it's a horror movie about ghosts, and I actually haven't seen it myself,
Honestly, it's pretty good.
unfortunately.
It's pretty good.
I've heard so many good things about it, but I've also heard so many rumors around it about how the set was haunted, the props were haunted, some of the actors and actresses were having weird things happen to them while they were on set and after
Mhm.
the set, and somebody died.
Yeah, it
So I
was
figured
like so many weird things happen. It really makes you wonder, is there really ghosts?
I believe in ghosts. I've seen ghosts.
I mean, my house is haunted. You can ask anybody who's been in here. I mean, you've seen it. The other day, I had some hose that I had out, and it lifted up off the counter and just started like wiggling around for a little while. Like it was weird. So I do think
That's
that ghosts exist.
that's crazy. And I think my house is definitely haunted too because like the people who built the house died in this house and then both of my grandparents have died in this house. So I
Yeah,
can
there's been
tell
a lot
you
of death there.
for a fact it is
Mhm.
haunted.
Uh, yeah, my house actually was built before there was even any roads in this. Like, it wasn't even the town that I'm in, wasn't even like named yet. Like, the house is older than the
Wow.
town. It used to be an old farmhouse, and now I'm dead center of town.
Wow.
I have the original deed and pictures of like, it's got to be haunted. It's gotta be.
It has to be. There's no other possible explanation. It has to be. It's just ghosts.
For
The
real.
house has ghosts in its bones.
For real. For real. I've named him so I'm living
You
in.
named the
Yes, the
ghosts?
ghost's name is Sam, okay?
Sam.
Sam.
That's my brother's name.
Well, Sam was one of the last people to live here that had died here.
Okay.
And so my family knew the guy, so we just call him Sam.
Sam the ghost.
Sam the ghost.
Does he eat green eggs and ham?
He does not, Sam I am.
Not in a box and not with the fox, but
Mm,
definitely in a haunted house.
for sure in the haunted house. He's a friendly ghost though. At worst, he just moves things around like pranks. But every time there's a massive storm, the house, the property, everything surrounding it, everything is always safe. Always. Tornado touched down last year across the street. Mine was the only house in 3 blocks that wasn't touched with anything. Not even a branch. I'll keep Sam.
I was gonna say, so Sam was a good ghost.
Very good ghost, just a prankster, but a
Okay,
very good ghost.
that works out. I think that this house is probably protected by the good ghosts too. But backtracking,
Yeah, so
backtracking. So
Poltergeist.
we were talking about
Yes, it
Poltergeist,
came
and
out in
you had other movies that
1982.
have had creepy things happening to them.
Yes. So, and like one of the things that were on here, it was, I've got it written down. I've got notes here. It was actress Dominique Dune was strangled to death. And
What
she was
movie?
for Poltergeist.
She
The
she was
same year that the
murdered.
film came out. And another actress, Heather O'Rourke, died of a heart attack at the age of 12. And she was the little
No.
girl that was in the movie.
A heart attack.
A heart attack at the age of 12.
You know, I had kind of always thought it would be possible to die of fright, which would, you know, in an autopsy report, that would come up as dying of a heart attack. But I never have heard of it actually happening, you know?
Yep. And, well, apparently they were using real human remains on the set.
Those. Why? Why would
They
you.
wanted authenticity. But yeah, like, that is the stupidest move you can make. Like, you can, with the right paint job on anything plastic molded, and in the 90s, there was plastic molding. Like, you can't tell me that that didn't exist. I mean, Tupperware was
Yeah.
everywhere. Plastic injection molding existed, okay?
Yeah.
It's
I mean, with
really easy for a good paint job to make it look real.
let's think about the other movies that were coming out in the 80s. We've
Oh my
got
God.
Friday the 13th. We've
Nightmare on
got
Elm Street,
Halloween.
Halloween, yep. So
And
many horror
the-
movies. It was like just blockbuster horror movie after blockbuster horror movie.
Yeah, well, and John Carpenter was behind a lot of that. I
Mhm.
don't know if he did the Poltergeist movie or not, but like considering the amount of practical effects that were in use for all of those other horror movies, you would have thought that they would have put it in the budget to have fake bones, fake human remains,
I mean-
not real ones.
For-
Like, what?
First of all, wouldn't it be cheaper to have just some plastic thing laying around than finding and getting the licensing and obtaining, like, legally obtaining human remains, like human bones?
That's the key word in there is legally, because it would be so cheap. It would be basically free
I mean,
if they went and robbed graves.
like I don't know if they did anything illegal to obtain them or not. I have zero idea, but I hope not. And if they did, well, even if they didn't, and if they just disturbed a grave, maybe there's a reason it was haunted. Like, I guess they had a priest a couple years after film, like 5 years after filming, actually come and do an exorcism on the set because so many things were still happening afterwards.
You would think that would be your sign to quit by then. If you have to have a priest come and exorcise a whole set of a movie.
Right, like, maybe don't use the haunted bones. Maybe just spring for the plastic crap.
Yeah. That's insane.
Mm-hmm.
That is insane. So that's just Poltergeist specifically.
Right.
And there's others, I'm assuming.
Yes, there are plenty others. Like, if we want to go a little bit more recent, the 2013 version of Conjuring. I mean, there was some pretty creepy stuff going on with that set too, and with the some of the stars in it. Have you heard about that?
No, but it is one of my favorites because of, like, it was one of those first horror movies I saw that actually had really good special effects going on in it.
They did.
And, you know, they always say based on a true story and whatever. I didn't realize upon watching it initially how much of reality it was based on, that Ed and Lorraine Warren were real people who were
Yep.
actually hired by the Catholic Church to go and do these things.
Mm-hmm.
And then come to find out years and years and years later that it was all a hoax, essentially. Lorraine didn't really have any of those special gifts, or if she did, it was just a version of psychosis. And the amount of money that they took from people who were desperate and trying to just find solutions to things that, honestly, and this is just my opinion, because, like, I love horror movies, don't get
Mhm.
me wrong,
Oh,
and I
same.
do believe in ghosts, but there is a point in those supernatural experiences that can be explained by medical science.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, if you're hallucinating certain things, my first instinct wouldn't be to be like, you're haunted. It would be either you were on drugs or you need some serious mental health evaluation first.
Right, right. And specifically for the cases involving children, I've come to find out that a lot of the housing that these families are living in is partially due to, like, the hallucinations and seeing things or certain things being like, cupboard doors slamming and stuff like that. Sure, that could easily be explained away by a ghost, but I'm talking, like, being chased down or visualizing being chased down by some sort of demonic entity. Those types of hallucinations are actually more commonly associated with mold toxicity
Oh,
than
okay.
anything else.
So you think
And a
that
lot of
maybe
these
some of these families have been stuck in, like,
Yeah.
places with, like, black mold growing in the walls or, like, in between the first floor and second floor kinda joists and stuff.
Or in the basement, which
Yeah,
is
and
where a
getting
lot of
into
that
the air
happens,
and
and the East Coast is humid, super freaking humid.
yeah,
So, naturally, these houses that are made out of natural materials are going to have naturally, like, degrading type of situations that will release these spores into the air that can cause really toxic, harmful effects on the human body, and if it gets bad enough, on the mind anyway.
they really
So
are. I
they're
mean,
going to
being scared of the monster under the bed or
Exactly.
so, yeah, I can see how
Yeah.
that would make it real quick.
Yeah. So, sorry, I didn't mean to sidetrack from all
No,
of that for a
that
second.
that's the whole point.
Yeah, but, like, that movie, specifically the first Conjuring, fascinated me so much that all of that could happen to a single family, and of course, it's in Connecticut. And of course, it's in the fall, granted they had did certain things to set the scene in the movie,
Mhm.
as they should. And James Wan, I'm not sure if he was the director or the producer, the executive producer, but regardless, he did the Saw series.
Mhm.
So I knew upon seeing that name in the lineup in the credits, I was like, "Yeah, this is gonna be a really good movie," because he knows his horror. He knows his horror really well.
He does.
So when they were doing a story based on historical events, I was like, "How far are they gonna take this?" And knowing James Wan, he is going to push those limits as much as he can.
Oh, for sure.
So, what happened? What happened on set?
Well, they said that on the actual set, um, in the storerooms, where they keep all of the props and the whatever else, things would just randomly switch shelving up and down from one shelf unit to another, just different sides of the room, just things were just swapping around all over the place. Could it have been some interns playing a prank? Maybe. But generally speaking, prop masters are the only ones allowed to handle that stuff outside of the actual filming portion.
Wow.
Having been, on sets and stuff is, most of the and depending on what it is, they can get really picky about who touches it. Like the wrong person breathes on it and the guy's like, "No, no, 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 no. Don't go anywhere near these." So the chance that some interns were doing it, I mean, possible, but maybe it was a haunting, you know?
Maybe.
That's the most mild thing that happened.
Oh, no, we wanna get into the
You
nitty-gritty.
wanna
What's
get
the
okay, okay,
worst?
okay, okay. Um, uh, Joey King, one of the main actresses in the film,
Mhm.
she would randomly be covered in bruises and not know how they showed up there, like, all over her body. Like, even in places you wouldn't be bumping into things, she would have bruising.
Weird.
Where does that come from, you know? Like, it wasn't like makeup, like, it was actual she was getting bruised and had no idea why
Yeah.
or where it was coming from.
Yeah.
So
Interesting.
that's weird.
That is a little weird. It makes me wonder, like, the set, how
Mhm.
haunted the set actually was, whether it was, like, a real haunted house or not.
Right, well, a lot of it was, it wasn't just filmed on location, like, there was a lot of, in studio stuff that was going on as well. So they
Sure.
they did a lot of both, and regardless of where they were filming, she was still having bruising.
That's insane.
Mhm.
So, let me ask you this, when they were filming the Annabelle movies, Were they using the real Annabelle doll?
No, I don't think they were, as far as I know, but I do know the real animal Annabelle doll was in a museum for quite a long time, and then I think it was last year someone bought it on auction.
Do you know who bought it? Okay, this is like one little tidbit of pop culture that I was like,
Yeah,
what the
go
fuck?
for it, go for it.
So, yes, the Annabelle doll had been kept in the Warrens Museum of Haunted Artifacts that was held in like the extra side of their home. They built on an extra part of their home to house all of these cursed objects that they were collecting from all the different sites.
Okay, so that part
Matt,
was real from the movie. They actually did have it attached to
yeah,
their house. Why would you attach to your house a storage facility for cursed objects?
because they believed that they could control it. They believed that either the object wasn't haunted anymore because they had a priest come and exorcise it, or it wasn't actually a haunted object, but it had some sort of like cursed energy or some shit on it. And they were like, we can keep it safe. It's not going to hurt anybody if we keep it in our house. Their daughter is the only person who was never allowed in that museum. They very rarely let people do tours and do walkthroughs to go and see all of these objects,
Mhm.
and I can only imagine how expensive the tickets were.
I'm sure they charge through the roof. Just, I mean, they're like, we're the only people that have this in the world, so you're gonna pay what we want you to pay.
Yeah, but not only that, but like their daughter had been they did their best to keep her safe from all of their work essentially. But eventually she did get, this is hearsay and I could absolutely be wrong. So, bear that in mind, but I'm pretty sure she was attacked by either the Annabelle doll or some other sort of like evil entity at some point when she was a teenager, and that further put a wedge between her and her parents to where she moved out and has rarely spoken to them or didn't really speak to them for a
So
long time.
we discussed that those two did some scammy stuff
Yeah.
with all of this. So was it the daughter that had a psychosis, or was some of this actually real and they were way too far into the deep end and had no real idea what they were doing?
I think it was split. I think Ed was the one who was the one running the scams. Lorraine, I think she truly believed that she had a gift and that these objects were cursed or haunted. And she was doing her best to keep their daughter safe from their work. Their daughter, I think she saw both sides of it, realized how harmful of a practice they were doing, regardless if the things were cursed or not. Because if they were cursed, then obviously, yeah, that's going to be an issue. But if they're not cursed and it's just they're taking random objects from these investigation sites with a priest, it's like, that's a weird thing to collect.
Yeah,
And they're running scams on these poor families who are desperate to find answers.
right. And so if the guy was running scams and his wife really believed it was real, but it wasn't, doesn't that essentially mean he was scamming his wife into doing this work so he could get rich without having a job?
Yeah, well, I mean,
I mean, that
before
that sounds
then,
pretty low and scummy if that was what was going on.
yeah. So there's the movie portrayals that I've seen, and there's the little bit of information about reality that I have remembered from reading. And it seemed like that they spoke at colleges, and
Mhm.
specifically the UVA like college of psychology, where they were studying a supernatural phenomenon,
Okay.
basically. They've spoken at UVA frequently. They've spoken to the BAU once or twice before, and they've obviously extensively worked with the Catholic Church.
Right.
But I feel like either enough people bought into the scam that nobody really questioned what was going on behind the scenes, or they thought the scam was so ridiculous that they didn't think to look deeper.
Okay.
That's just my 2 cents.
Wow.
But yeah, so backtracking,
Yeah.
Matt Rife, this comedian who
That's who bought it, was Matt Rife. No way. That's the
yeah,
comedian.
he bought the Annabelle doll
Ah,
and
that's hilarious.
he had rights to it for a while, and see, they were taking some of these haunted objects on tour across the country to different museums of haunted objects, and somewhere in Texas, they lost Annabelle.
Whoa.
Either she was stolen or it got lost in transit, but they lost the Annabelle doll.
Ha- That would be something a crazy collector would very much want to get their hands on. I'd put money that whether it was in transit or before or after, it's probably sitting in somebody's closet.
Or it got sold to the highest bidder on the black market and is sitting in some glass case in some Saudi Arabian prince's dressing room.
I mean, that could be too. Like some ultra uber wealthy person was like, I like the paranormal. I gotta have this.
Yeah,
That could
basically.
be. I mean, if you have enough
Basically,
money, you can buy just about anything, whether it's for sale or not. So,
pretty much. Okay, so getting into a little bit more horror gory movies. I've got one right here
oh, okay. I was gonna say,
if you
like,
wanna
there was even worse stuff that happened on that movie set.
like what?
Like, one of the actresses, Vera Farmiga,
Yeah.
she would wake up with scratches on her thighs. Like deep scratches on her thighs. And they also those same marks, the exact same scratch everything were showing up on her cell phone, on her laptop, like everywhere for her. While she was getting scratched up, and she would be woken up by something that she didn't know what between 3 and 4 a.m., like almost daily during filming. Do you know why that's significant? That time
The
frame?
witching hour. 3 o'clock is the fucking witching hour.
Yep, and it was also the same time the character that she played in the movie died.
Ooh.
The
Ooh.
exact same time frame that her character died in the movie, and she was
Hold on
randomly
a sec.
getting
Vera
woken up.
Farmiga played Lorraine Warren. I didn't realize she was dead. Lorraine Warren is dead?
Yes.
What?
Yeah, that's really messed up when you're waking up with, like, scratches and, like, being woken up at the same time your character is supposed to be dead.
Well,
Like,
hold on.
ooh.
She didn't die until 2019. And
Right,
that movie came out in 2013.
right, but in the movie, the character dies.
Vera Farmiga played Lorraine Warren, who was the psychic.
Oh, no, the witch died then. That's not I'm sorry, I got mixed up. The witch died between
Okay.
3 and 4. Sorry, not her
Okay.
character.
I was so
No,
lost.
sorry, yeah,
I
the
was like,
witch, the weird witch lady dies around then.
man, okay.
I mixed my
Okay.
I have notes written up out here, and it's like itty bitty text, so I misread that one.
No, you're fine. You're fine. I was just really confused.
But yeah, so the witch died at the same time that she's being woken up out of her sleep.
Shit. That would be scary.
Right?
Being woken up at that same time and waking up with scratches all over you.
You right? Like, wait a minute, something's going on, and I don't like this. So what's your movie here that your next movie that you wanted to
Okay. So, have you seen Cannibal Holocaust?
heard of it? Have not watched that one.
Okay. Are you squeamish with a lot of gore?
Gore, not so much. I'm oddly squeamish around throw up though. Like I can handle
That's fair.
blood better than throw up.
That's fair. Same here.
Okay, it's like
Unless
the
it's my own
smell
blood.
is just oh.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so the movie Cannibal Holocaust was about this film crew who went down into the Amazon to film an Amazonian tribe that were supposedly cannibals.
Okay.
And nobody came back. And
Oh,
so the lore behind this movie is that the way that the director marketed it when it was initially being released as a documentary,
more like a mockumentary.
and all of these actors died on film.
Like, actually?
No,
Okay, I was
they're
gonna be like,
characters.
hold on, like,
They're
is this like the
characters,
Faces of Death thing or
but the way that they marketed it made it look like they had actually died and he was just selling kind of a snuff film afterwards.
oh my god.
Well, come to find out, all of these actors and actresses in the film crew were alive. It was just a fictional film, but they had to appear in court because this director was being charged with murder on top of producing a snuff film in like 15 different countries.
Oh my
Uh,
god.
it's still banned in most countries nowadays, not the United States because it's fiction,
But still,
which
the way
go fucking
market
figure.
it like that, that's creepy.
So there is a scene where one of the girls, the main girls, is impaled
Oh,
by a wooden spike. And
that's a
he
tough way
was
to go.
charged with murder because of that scene. And he had to show the courts how that special effect was done and provide pictures of her to prove to the court that she was alive in order to have the charges dropped.
Oh my gosh. So, talk about doing your effect your practical effects the right way then.
Uh huh.
Like, if it's so good, people are like, "Nah, that's real," and you've gotta go through step by step how you created those effects. Although,
Yeah.
I feel bad for his effects person because all of their secrets got aired out. And in the film industry, if you have those little special touches nobody else does, that's what makes you the most marketable in that position.
Well, if he had marketed it a little more correctly and specifically included that the film was fiction, I feel like it still would have done just as well
Probably.
without having to need to go to court and everything like that.
Probably.
Green Inferno had a similar issue as well with the cannibalism.
Yeah.
Apparently, the actors that were in Cannibal Holocaust were also banned from appearing in any other movies for a year, so people were actually believing that they died.
Like contract-wise or, like,
Yeah.
legal-wise? Oh, man, that is I don't know if I would've signed up to act on that film then, because the longer your presence is missed, the less work you're going to get when you enter back in again.
Yeah.
So, that ooh. Man, they were really gambling on this thing succeeding, weren't they?
Oh my god, the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the narrator at the beginning was paid for his job with a joint.
Mhm. Yep, 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 yep. That's some cannabis history. Get
I
high on
love
us and
that.
film this. Okay. Spark.
I
Roll.
love that. Oh my god.
That's hilarious.
Oh, what was it? Okay, so this is totally sidetracking and feel free to bring me back in at any moment. There's this sound that's going viral on TikTok right now, and it's like, well, it's been viral for a few years, but it's like a woman wailing with a lot of sing wailing. She's singing, but it's sad and it sounds like a gospel song of mourning someone's death, and they've got piano and guitar in the background, and come to find out that that clip was from a song from Dark Side of the Moon by Pink Floyd,
Oh,
and she was paid like, the woman who recorded this was paid very little, if anything. I don't think she was even credited on the album or the song,
oh, she's
and
definitely credited for the song. I know exactly what song you're talking about. It is one of my favorite songs on that album. Her vocal you're talking about her vocal solo?
yeah.
It honestly, when I was working doing inventory, when it came to inventory, like the quarterly inventory days, man, I would blast that in my headphones counting everything out because it was like my one solace.
Yeah. No, I totally get that. I just recently found out that there was like a whole court case going on about it for her to get paid what she was worth because that's one of Pink Floyd's most successful songs and albums.
It is. I'm gonna pause 1 second. I will be right back.
Okay.
Sorry, I had to get another drink, you know.
Feel that. Mine's empty.
So, yeah, that's nuts, and I love, 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 love that song. They even feature that song on, that older movie with Jack Black, School of Rock.
Really?
Yes, when Jack Black's character, is kinda mentoring some of the singers, one of them he
Mhm.
hands them that album and tells them to listen to that song and study the vocals on it because it is the best vocals he's ever heard.
It's been said best vocals of all time.
It's so good. Yeah, I didn't know if people were trying to turn that into a wailing song or woman wailing because I guarantee wherever I hear that, I'm gonna immediately recognize, I listened to it on loop for years.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
So there's getting back to our haunted stuff. mm, Did you hear about what happened on the set of The Ring 2?
No, I haven't seen The Ring 2.
Not as good as the first one. And neither of them are as
Okay.
good as the Japanese version, I will throw that out there. It is so much more terrifying than any at the time when I saw the Japanese version, it was the most terrifying thing I'd ever seen in my life.
Great.
Like
Looking forward to it.
like, it made The Grudge look mild, alright? Like, it was nuts.
I don't think I've seen The Grudge either.
Definitely, definitely one I would recommend. The whole hand out of the back of the head thing
Ooh.
while you're in the shower, like, all of a sudden, this hand, this dead hand just starts in the
I
hair.
I've seen that particular scene, but I've also seen the Scream movies remake of it.
Oh, that's hilarious. The way they
It's
the Scary Movies, yeah.
yeah, Scary
Scary
Movie, not
Movie,
Scream,
yes.
my bad.
They're coming out with another Scary Movie.
Of course they are.
I mean,
And they just
because
came out
the
with
Wayans
another
brothers.
Scream with Matthew Lillard.
Yeah, so they've gotta answer back.
Yeah. So
So,
what happened?
they had a lot of weird issues with water, like pipes bursting. One time it flooded the entire production office. Um, Buckets of water, like 5-gallon buckets of water, just like busting open and flooding water everywhere, just
Wow.
exploding everywhere. Um, and even once they had not just with the water, a whole swarm of bees attacked on set, like during filming. And then when the attack was over, they couldn't find any sign of bees anywhere. There wasn't a hive anywhere nearby or anything. It was just a random swarm of bees just attacked the set.
Hmm. And suddenly bees.
Yeah, yeah. It's like enter Nicolas Cage.
Pretty much.
I mean, if you wanna go, and we did talk about the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, right?
A little bit.
Ap Apparently, during one of the I think the dinner scene, some of the actors apparently started to actually, like, go nuts for a little while, like, just go crazy out of their minds for a little bit. Why, I don't know, because that wasn't even a haunting thing. It was about a real dude that, like, okay. You know the story about who that movie's based off of, right?
No.
This guy has had so many these horror movies based off of him because he didn't have just one MO. Like, he was a major serial this dude I'll do some investigation on the specifics, but there was, like, 5 or 6 different movies about how horrifying this dude was. I mean, they were all different characters in the movies, but every single one of them was based on this one dude, including Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Wait, Ed Gein.
Yes, Ed Gein, yeah, same guy that would, like, spin
Yeah.
people and stuff.
So, couple things about him. Yeah, I saw that they had recently made a monster series about him on Netflix.
Yeah.
Ryan Murphy has a tendency to kind of butcher the story for the sake of cinematics.
I mean, you almost have to at this point with everything that's already out there.
I mean, yes to no. There's not a whole lot out there that's besides a documentary specifically about Ed Gein or Jeffrey Dahmer or
Right.
Ted Bundy. Sidetrack, total. Sorry. There is a woman who was murdered in the 70s, and because of DNA evidence that they have found and matched, they can confirm that she was murdered by Ted Bundy. And this happened in Salt Lake like a couple days ago.
They confirmed it just a couple days ago.
They confirmed it a couple days ago that she was in fact murdered by Ted Bundy. So that actually raises his body count a little bit too.
I'm
Um,
dude's already overachieving.
Infamous.
Like what some of the rumors
Yes.
I heard about how he'd lure people and stuff. Who knows how high that body count actually is?
Right.
I mean,
Well, and the
didn't
other
he
thing
have
is
like
like
burial grounds or killing grounds like all over the place?
so the most common ones that he would go to were canyons. So he could just throw them over the edge and the body would get damaged on the way down. It'd float down to a river and then float away, basically. But that's partially why he did so much of his activities in California was because the canyons either never went investigated because they were federal lands or because they got washed out to sea and they couldn't recover the bodies.
Yeah, so
But Ed Gein,
I wonder how many he actually had for victims then, because there's no way
I
they
would
have an
double it.
accurate count.
I would double it at minimum.
Cool.
Um, but yeah, backtracking, Ed Gein. So what I do know of him is that he would exhume bodies to recover their skins and create furniture, tapestries, and eventually was trying to create a bodysuit out of skins.
Yeah, the whole,
Um,
what Buffalo Bill thing is based on him too.
yeah, I mean, any sort of horror movie that's based on
Body
using
mutilation,
skin,
basically.
yeah, is gonna be based on him because he's the only known case in the United States. There's actually known cases around the world of people who have done that, or there's even some cultures that traditionally use their skins as a form of, like, honoring their dead.
Yeah, but see,
Uh,
that's cultural tradition used as a
right.
way to honor those is a whole different ball game than being like, "Imma wear their skin as a suit." Like, that those are not
Yeah.
even remotely in the same ballpark.
Yeah. Yeah. But there's actually kind of a neat little link. So he's based out of Marshfield, Wisconsin. I could be wrong about that. I might have to double check.
Okay.
Which is middle of fuck nowhere, Wisconsin, right in the center of the state, right in the middle of the woods. There's a lot of farmland there too. But lo and behold, like 40, 50 years later, sort of near there, did you ever watch the documentary Making of a Murderer?
I watched about half of it.
Okay, so Stephen Avery lived not that far from me, and the entire time that this case was happening, from the murder to the trial, I was living in Wisconsin, and my dad,
Oh.
one of his seed customers was Teresa Rohrback's dad.
No.
I might have butchered her last name, but the dad of the victim was a customer of my dad's when we were living in Wisconsin.
That's a really close connection. Like, I'm glad you got
That's
out of there, cause dang.
Well, I mean, it's not like we were in jeopardy or anything, and the way that the whole case went down, it seemed to be very specific, almost targeted towards her because
Okay.
she was a photographer who had agreed to come and take pictures of these guys' cars at the junkyard.
Mhm.
Other than that, there was zero connection between the victim and the murderer in that case. But the interesting and strange things that happen within a certain area of each other is always interesting to me. Because, like, if you were to take a map of the United States
Mhm.
and look at some of these horror stories that happen, I think I actually saw one recently. The amount of horror stories that this one particular podcast covered state by state, obviously the majority of them are gonna be on the East Coast because people have been living there a lot longer
Mhm.
than anywhere else, but it's surprising to me that there's more cases that they covered in Wisconsin, Illinois, Ohio, Missouri, Texas, Utah, Colorado, and California more than a lot of the other places in the Midwest and the West.
I wonder why that is.
I would say population density would be considered a factor. I would also say look at the water quality.
Oh, okay.
Like, okay, if you wanna look at Iowa, look at
Water
the
quality here is
Villisca
atrocious.
well, look at the axe murder house of Villisca. I mean, there's that, and then if you look at where I'm at in Ogden, there's loads upon loads of ghost stories because, 1, oldest city in Utah besides Salt Lake, which wasn't really established yet, and Al Capone himself said that that Ogden was so rough, he would never step foot in it again. Al Capone.
Uh, I mean, I don't blame him. Like, the water quality in Iowa is continuing to drop and drop and drop, and it's getting, like, almost poisonous to drink out here. And the really weird thing about that is growing up in Iowa, the amount of violent kids, like, level of violence that the teachers would just watch what happened until the kids ran out of energy kind of violence. Like, it was insane. I personally witnessed things where, like, the whole football team, like, the whole defensive line of the high school football team on one guy's back while he's still trying to fight people.
Wow.
Like, it really does get violent out here, and
Yeah,
you either are tough or you move away very soon, and there really is no in between because 'cause you're not gonna survive otherwise.
right.
And
And I feel
unfortunately,
like a lot of
that's
people
that's part of that Iowa nice that you hear about. Like, they'll be nice initially up front, but things are gonna get nasty. And that's what that Iowa nice really means is, "Oh, yeah, we'll be welcoming to your face, and then we'll be nasty behind your back, and then if you say anything, then we'll get physical."
That sounds a lot like Southern Charm.
Yeah, it's real nasty. So, I mean, going back to some of these hauntings, I could even see things like water quality causing issues with different people.
That was just a hypothesis that I have.
I can see I understand, and I'm just running with the if this possibility were truth, what would this look like? And I
Yeah.
feel like there's certain areas that you really do see that there is a lot of these problems that could really be associated with this.
Mhm.
Between poor water quality and like we were talking earlier with mold and issues like that, I can see violent psychosis really being a thing that causes these mass murders like this. Or on the other side, these violent hallucinations, and instead of becoming violent yourself, you're experiencing the violence and need to try and get away. Like, it's horrifying.
Yeah. Yeah, no kidding. And yeah, that was just another hypothesis, and we could do an entire another episode on super sites and
Well, I've
chemicals
got 3 different
and
sites that I have personally experienced within a half hour of my home currently, outside of my home feeling like it's haunted. Like,
and I would love to get more into lore and more, like, local legends and stuff like that.
we're
I think that
definitely
would be
gonna
really
have to do
fun.
an episode on that for sure.
I think do we wanna do one more real quick
Sure,
before wrapping up?
sure, I've got one more movie here,
Okay.
Ghost of Goodnight Lane, have you heard of that one?
I have not.
It's a 2014 movie. So the funny thing is this is a movie that's supposed to be a haunted set, but it's about a movie that had a haunted set.
Okay.
So,
Very
it's
meta.
one of those like, "Oh, we're gonna, you know, it's this, but it's actually this, but we're filming this that it's actually this, and then it happened in real life." It's like, don't incept yourself, guys. It's not cool. Uh During filming, a lot of people felt like a lot of the cast and crew both were experiencing being slapped, but there was nobody around them when they were being slapped. Like, invisible hands were slapping them, and then a bunch of people reported that, like, they were seeing, like, these blurry, like the Hat Man kind of thing on set. And multiple different people were experiencing this, but they weren't, like, experiencing it at the exact same moment.
Okay.
Um and then, they always had and then they did have a lot of issues with lights and sound, either lights flickering, sound being crackly, not recording properly, even though all of the testing and stuff was done correctly. Um, and they actually tried to film on a production site that was supposedly very haunted in the first place. I'm not sure if they did actually get to film there or not, but most of the crew reported this weird stuff going on. So they were like actually being haunted while trying to do a Inception haunted area, haunted kind of scary movie thing. And it's like y'all played with too many levels of fire and now you're getting burned.
Pretty much. Pretty much.
No, it's like we're gonna see how much we can tempt fate before something actually happens, and then we're gonna try and push through anyways. So, yeah, even from the '80s up till more recently, there's crazy ghost stories like that on sets.
Yeah.
And I know, like, there's a lot of been, a TV series that have kinda mocked the idea, like Supernatural, like, "Oh, yeah, it's a haunted," and then, "Oh, wait, they're actually haunted now." But they in the process made fun of, like, how people fake, sets being haunted, like hiring retired, people from the film industry to come on set, like, "This is my one last hurrah," and, "Oh, no, he was killed on set." But it was all just, practical effects and stuff. I
Yeah.
do wonder how many of these movies also had that kind of stuff going on in the background where like producers were trying to create a hype or some kind of an environment that would get more raw reactions for jump scares and stuff.
Mhm. Yeah. It does make you wonder.
Haunted sets, really haunted or a marketing ploy?
Dun dun dun.
The world may never know.
Well, I think that feels like a really good spot to stop
I
and let
agree. I mean, we covered quite a
we
bit, but
covered a few
also
things.
a lot of randomness, which is good. I mean, I swear we should change the name from Poor Decisions to Poor ADHD Management.
Unmedicated. We
Unmedicated,
should
there we
just
go.
call it unmedicated.
Medicated and unhinged.
Mhm. Mhm.
Well, thank you, Kate. This is always, always a pleasure to, co-host with you, and,
It's a
thank
pleasure to
you.
host with you.
Appreciate it, and thank you everyone for listening in, and we hope to see you all next time.
Come back for more weirdness.